All right, we're all set then to get going into the content of the presentation. So we just wanted to mention that for this, you should, when you are registering people, you should be logged into your My Council account. So if you're trying to follow along on your computer, if you go ahead and make sure that you are logged in, that's in the upper right-hand corner of the ctrivers.org website. All right, we're all set then to get going into the content of the presentation. So we just wanted to mention that for this, you should, when you are registering people, you should be logged into your My Council account. So if you're trying to follow along on your computer, if you go ahead and make sure that you are logged in, that's in the upper right-hand corner of the ctrivers.org website.
Yes, go back to the website. Let's hope this is the hardest thing that we have to do today. There we go. And that was my error for using an old link that I preserved for some back-end work that I do on the system. All right. We're going to find the pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our test pack. To do that, we click on unit information, which is under the Journey to Excellence. You all have your own pack number out there. So I click on it. We have click to search for unit. And I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. I don't have to fill out anything other than that. I can narrow my results by filling in more. So I begin search. Pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Anytown, Connecticut is down here, and I click on it. And I jump to that immediately. Now, one of the handiest things we have is that's a lot of steps to get there. But one of the things we do is you can take this as a bookmark and click also in quick links. So bookmarks is up above your troop number, and then you have bookmarks there. Quick links is on the left side of the page, up above the Journey to Excellence award, and we see that pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there. How that's handy is from now on, whenever I log on to my computer or any other computer and log on to my password in ScoutNet, even if you're at the library, not ScoutNet, it's the council website, I can now jump right to the pack page using that link. It saves you a lot of click-throughs.
We do have one question, Bob. Paul has a question.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, the login and the password, is it specific to a troop or a pack, to a unit? So I was talking with my scoutmaster a couple weeks ago, and he said, you know, he had a specific login for the troop. But I did log in with my own password that I set up a couple weeks ago.
The username and password is specific to a person, not to a unit, but that actually ties in very well with the next step that we wanted to take you through, which is who has access to the unit registration. So the unit leader does have that access if they've taken ownership of the website here on ctrivers.org.
Well, I did go in a couple weeks ago and sign up for a campsite at Mattatuck, which I know is not the same as doing this unit registration.
Okay, we may have to give you access to your unit registration, but we're going to cover how a unit can grant access
Okay.
And then we're going to ask you, in particular, to see if you have access, and while one of us is driving, the other one will give you access.
Okay.
Okay? And you can check on this live while we're here.
Yep.
So, we're on the unit website. The people who have access to the registration is always the unit leader who has taken ownership of the website. That's normally your Cub Master or your Scout Master. And I should say, the unit leader has access to everything that's on the unit website. And it's also the person who set up the initial registration. So, you know, if you had somebody, it's a year ago now for most Boy Scout troops, set up the registration, they still have access to that registration. And there's a third way that you can get access to the registration. And here, oops, I guess I'm still here as a friend to the unit. What you do is, if you look at troop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where it says Friends Directory here, you'd have a shorter member menu, and it would say Become a Friend. So if your unit leader has taken ownership of the website, you can see Become a Friend there. And what would happen is, I would click Become a Friend, and then it would ask me to confirm it. And when I did confirm it, it would send an email to the unit leader. Now, what's going to happen here is, here's the Friends directory. It shows I'm already a friend. But I'm also an administrator, which means I can see everybody who's a friend at this unit, and I see we have 5 people. We're all master administrators. That's what the MA stands for. But by clicking, let me go one step back. When I'm in the Friends directory, your unit leader can click on Manage. He can go to Requests here, and Requests will tell him anybody who wants to be a friend. So if you want administration rights, you ask to be a friend. He then approves on the request screen that you're a friend, and then this puts the individual on the friends list. Your unit leader can click on them, and they can then approve this person for registration manager, which is that one box that remains clicked here. By doing so, your unit leader can grant you access to unit registration. Okay? But I have access. So that explains one way to it, but I'm pretty sure you have a more immediate need, and we'll take care of that. What unit are you from?
Troop 1 in Cheshire.
Troop 1 Cheshire?
Yeah.
Aaron will now go behind the scenes while we continue on to grant you access to your unit registration.
Okay. And my Scoutmaster may have already done it, but I don't know.
Probably not.
Okay.
We're really rolling these things out. So,
okay. Now,
unit registrations. One of the first things we're going to do is go to the unit roster. And the unit roster is right on this side, and if you have registration access, you should have roster access as well. Now, a unit roster is an easy way for you to update a registration. And by putting folks in a unit roster, these people are available for all unit registrations that you run. It allows them to be chosen from a drop-down box, and it keeps track of who's already been added in. So to add a member, all you do is click on Add a Member, click in a name, and one of our new employees, make her a member. For date of birth, for Boy Scout camp, we do ask for date of birth because there are events that are 13 and 14 years old, restricted to people that are older than that. Sometimes you just guess. Make her very young and male. Oops, little typo there. 204. I was making her very, very old. Email. For the expo, we require email even for kids. Generally, it's a good idea to put a Scout's email in anyway, a Scout parent's email in. If something happens at that event and we need to get a hold of people quickly or before the event, we canceled several events due to a blizzard. We've canceled them due to a hurricane in the past couple of years. I don't think we canceled anything due to an earthquake. But cancellations happen. So if you put in a parental email, when the cancellations occur, we will notify everybody who signed up to go. If you don't, if you put in your email, say 40 times for each of your 40 Scouts, interestingly enough, you'll get 40 emails.
Right.
So we put this information in. Now they have contact information. I recommend putting in contact information for adults. We don't necessarily need contact information for Scouts. If they're taking NYLT, it's a good idea, though, for training. Other, that's special needs. Dietary constraints. Special needs are really health and allergies in particular. If there's a special diet, gluten-free, this is a good place for it. You enter it once, it'll be saved. So you save Shelley here. You now see that she's age 8. She's a man, and that's her email address. Now when we go to registrations, we can see that we have a number of registrations here already. But because this is a group registration class, I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to the camping and outdoor program and just demonstrate something for you. Cub Scout camp. I'm going to take a random Cub Scout mini week. Oops. It's at the bottom here. And to register online. If you notice, we have two different types of registration, individual and units. There are benefits and drawbacks for each of them. A unit registration means that you can produce rosters for your unit and activity rosters. If we ask you to sign up for merit badges, you can get detailed by unit, who's doing what. A unit registration allows you to swap kids in and out. Johnny isn't going, Petey is. You can swap them. We'll show you how to do that later. You can create a unit registration and go back and do activities. You can add the merit badges at a later time. You can't do that for an individual. Ensure that all units get the same registration, correct week, etc. You don't know how many times we have to correct a Cub pack, which tells everybody to go in and register on their own, and they register for several weeks, different weeks. And this allows you to use the unit roster to pre-fill. What this does not allow you is facilitate an easy way for mom and pop to pay directly. You now have to pay through the unit. Okay? Individual registrations, you're more prone to error. You don't create a unit viewable roster. You don't know who's signed up because they're all listed individually. Activities must be signed up for in camp or during the initial registration. You can't change those. It also means that if the child doesn't come, they lose the deposit. Does not allow use of the unit roster, so people have to hand enter every piece of data. Does not facilitate a per-person payment. Does facilitate a per-person payment. In other words, mom and pop can pay directly. So having said that, the way to tell which is the difference is you click unit, the registration button, and you see the word contingent. That's the unit registration. That's done once per event. You click next. I'm signing up a unit. It's pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any town. By the way, this does edit you. If I put pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in West any town, it won't allow it. We only have one pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's in any town. My information shows up there. I now have the ability to add additional scouts by clicking on this button, or I click on Next, which saves my unit registration. I'm going to click Next. Oops. Save registration. Now in my shopping cart, I'm going to delete my previous registration that I'm not doing. I'm going to check out. Even if you pay nothing, you must check out. And I have read previously the council payment and refund policy. That's set up my unit registration. It says my unit's going to camp. Now if I go back to my quick links and jump to pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and click on registration, I can see that Cub Scout Mini Week Session 4 has been added. Okay? Now, we're going to show you next how to add an individual. Do we have any questions so far?
Nope. Yeah. Paul.
We have a question. Paul?
Yeah. So far, this is to register the unit for an event, whether it be summer camp or the Scout Expo or whatever.
Or it could be going to the aquarium for a sleepover.
Right. But this, I mean, so far this just registers the unit for the event.
Well, if I had continued on and clicked Add a Participant, it would register the unit and the scouts or the adults. Right now, we're going to show you how to take that bare bones registration and fill out the rest of the information.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So if we click on the Scout Expo option, it shows you your registration information. on this page. It says I've paid my $75 contingent deposit. My unit deposit, it says I have $75 in my balance because the expo is kind of unique. That $75 is available for each of the $25 Scout registrations. To add a Scout, I click on the Participant tabs, and I click on Register a New Participant. I'm going to register a Scout for the weekend. I click Next. My list of Scouts is now available. I'm going to add Chester Arthur. I click Next. His information is pre-filled. Next. He has no special needs. I click Next one more time. And here's an interesting thing. The amount due is $25. They ask how I'm going to pay for it. It says, I want to apply the full amount from the contingent account. So I'm going to pay from that first. I have $75 there. I click Next. But I want to add another participant. I'm going to add an adult. I'm just going to blow through this. Flash Gordon, apparently. I don't know if he's actually an adult. Oh, he has peanut allergies. And I'm going to apply the money from the contingent account. I'm going to enter another participant, another Scout. I want to point out something. Neither Flash Gordon or Chester Arthur are listed here anymore. It's very careful about that. I'm going to add Shelley. So it's a bunch of clicks. We admit that, and we're looking at better ways to do this. Okay? I'm going to add one more individual. Because if you notice, I've added 3 individuals so far.
Denver.
And I'm going to add a day visitor. And Superman. Oh, no email. This will, if I don't put it in an email, let's see what happens. It will accept it. Okay. Click Next. You'll notice that the payment from the contingent account is now gone. I've used all $75. So it no longer asks me that question. I now save registrations to the contingent account. It sends me an email here. At this point, you have not made your registration. You have to go and click on your contingent account, and you have 4 people here, and you can check out from here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody follow that?
Yep.
All right. I'm not going to check out because I don't want to pay $15 out of my pocket because it won't let me do this without actually paying the difference. And you can see here the balance is shown as $15 because $75 came from the contingent account, that pre-funded deposit that you made. The neat thing is I already have one person here. I can add another one if I want by just registering a new participant. So as your unit grows, you can do that. But I'm very lucky I recruited Shelley to replace him. So if I click on Chester, I have this option tab here. The second option down is replace participant. So I click on replace participant. I can pick Shelley from my roster. The individual has to be in my roster. And I click save. And if I go back to overview and view my list of participants, Shelley is now going to camp instead of Chester. Does everybody see how to do that?
Yep.
Yes.
This is especially important for summer camp because inevitably somebody backs out and you don't want to lose the money that you paid them. I wanted to point out the tools here. The tools show that I can export the participant roster or export the activity roster. These both get exported into Excel. So it gives you a list of everybody who's attending camp for you. I haven't made any payments. If you have money left in your contingent account, if you're curious, if you click on account, that's where you will see that. The neat thing is